Hi everyone! So it's the end of another week, so it's time to talk about the book I've been reading this week, which was The Vanishing Act of Esme Lennox by Maggie O'Farrell. And it's kind of, it's probably going to sound really weird, but this has kind of come at the perfect week for me, because this week I've had a load of work done on my house. Builders, the plumber and that's all gone now, so the house is back to normal again, yay. But that took like 2.5 days to do, and then it took me a day and a half to get the house back to normal. So literally Friday was the first day that I could actually start reading this book. So I was a bit like, oh gosh, I'm only just starting to read this and it's Friday. This is really bad because I haven't gotten that far down in a week before I started reading the book of during this challenge. I was a bit concerned that I wasn't gonna make it, or something like that. But this book actually turned out to be a really easy read, so much so that I read half the book on Friday and I read the second half yesterday. So yeah, so I managed to read it in a couple of days. It's only like 245 for 250 pages long, so it's not a long book at all. Now, I best go over what the story is about. So it follows two women in particular, and the first one is called Esme, who is obviously our main character, as it were, who's referred to in the title. Esme, it follows sections of her childhood, and then but mainly when she's a teenager in the 1930s in Edinburgh, with her sister and her parents. And Esme's always the one who's outspoken. She's a bit quirky. She likes to speak her mind. She likes to dress differently from everybody else. Generally, she's the odd girl out, as it were. And her sister is the one who's the really good girl. She always dresses correctly. She does what parents tell her. She does, she follows society conventions, to the T. She really does. And yes, so she and Esme are very, very different people. But her sister, sorry, I should say her name. It's Kitty, her sister. Esme and Kitty love each other to death. They're so close with each other. They always, Esme is always doing little jokes behind, like their nanny's back and stuff like this, and behind their mother's back, and they always share a giggle together. They stand up for each other, that kind of thing. So they are really, really close. But then we have another character called Iris, who is a modern day character, and she is Esme's great niece. So her grandmother is Kitty. And one day she gets a phone call to say Esme is being released from a psychiatric hospital after 60 years of being at this hospital. The hospital is basically closing down and she needs to be relocated, and they're basically releasing her to her next relative, because even though Kitty is still alive, she's in a home. She has dementia. So and Iris's father, who is the bloodline, as it were, goes down. So Kitty's son, he passed away, many years previously. So Iris is the next person, basically, in the family line. So she has to take on Esme, and it's about the two of them, how they interact with each other, what they learn from each other. It's very interesting, this book as well, because there are no distinct chapters. You get, like a couple of pages, and then you get a break on the page. For example, there you've got a break just there on the page, but apart from that, there's no actual distinct chapters. And it's at times it can be a little bit confusing as well, because it's jumping back and forwards through time. It doesn't tell you where in time you are, and at some points it's written from the first person perspective and the rest of it's written from the third person. So it's kind of a little disorientating. I totally get why it is, because of understanding who's narrating which sections, how they perceive the world and the situation, and what that means for the ending. It totally makes sense. But when you read it, first going into it, it is a little well, not off-putting, but it can throw you off a bit when you initially read it. But saying that, I still thoroughly enjoyed it. I was really engrossed in the story. I kind of figured out the ending. I thought the ending was going to play out slightly differently, but the same thing would happen, the same result would happen, and it did happen. Yeah, I saw it playing out slightly differently. It's well written. I really liked Maggie's writing. I've not read any of her books before. As I said, you know, in my announcement video, this is a book that got given to me by my sister a few years ago or more as a birthday present, but I haven't picked it up. So I'm not familiar with her writing at all. I don't know if this is her writing style or if it's just one-off because of how this story needs to be structured to make it work, obviously for the ending, that's how it's been written. But how it was written, I did enjoy it. Like I said, it's just a bit, at times it's a little bit confusing. I think I would reread it, definitely, and now knowing who is narrating which parts and everything, which time zones everything is at, I think I would enjoy it better the second time round. But I wouldn't deter people from reading this book. I'd say go for it. Be ready for a bit of a roller coaster. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good read. A very easy read, like I said. Probably something you could easily take on holiday or something with you. Should you be thinking of that. But yeah, I would recommend this book. I think it was pretty good, and yeah, maybe I'll look into Maggie's other books in the future. Okay, so that's what I thought of The Vanishing Act of Esme Lennox. I hope you enjoyed this review. As usual, I'll be back with an announcement video soon, and we'll find out what book I'm going to be reading for the next week. See ya!